Hi, I'm Chris Learson with Southerncross Resistance, and I'm here with...
Riley McNaughton.
Stuart Brown.
Braden Marshall.
Bo Collicoat.
Do you trust the government?
No.
Why is that?
Well, they're robbing your money, for one.
Yep.
They're not doing their jobs, for two. They're not helping the people, and what's the point in it?
You're talking about the Australian government? Yes. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yes.
Why is that?
Because I think there's a lot of anti-corruption systems and processes in play. And I think to a large extent most people are pretty honest in the government. And if they're not, they get caught up very quickly.
Okay.
In most cases, I do, I must admit. It all depends on, I suppose, what kind of area it is in, I suppose. So, but yeah, along the lines of that, most cases I do, yeah.
A bit of a difficult question. In some respects, yes, but in some respects, no. They do seem to be screwing up on a fair few things lately, which is a bit hard to say at the moment. My general opinion on them would be no.
Yeah, I suppose I do. I do trust the government, yes.
And why is that?
Because we get a say in who we're voting for.
No, I don't trust the government. After all the sneaky loopholes and whatnot, with Kevin Rudd getting kicked out a couple of years ago for Julia Gillard to take over, just for her to get kicked out pretty much, and then for Abbott to come in, I don't trust it at all.
Do you think there should be a third-party option to the current two-party system, like Labor, Liberal? Do you think there should be a third option to that?
Depending on what the third party would be, yes. If it was similar to one of the two parties now, it probably wouldn't make much difference, honestly.
Yeah, third party could help so that you didn't have just Labor or Liberal, just something else there for the people to decide on. Could help.
Do you think there should be a third-party option instead of just the normal two-party system that we have now when it comes to politics? Instead of Labor and Liberal, do you believe in a third-party option?
No, I think most of our needs are met with the two parties. I don't know if there should be a third party involved.
Yeah, bring it back to the people. Screw government, just bring it to the people. Avoid all higher power. That's my opinion.
So power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely?
Yes.
Do you think your vote counts?
No, not at all.
Why is that?
Well, because the amount of people who don't vote, and then the vote just goes in automatically towards, is it Liberal or Labor? And either way. So the amount of people who are just going to drop an empty slip in anyway is just going to make my vote obsolete. And even so, they'd put in who they wanted to win regardless.
Yeah, well, that's usually true.
Why do we have to fill them out in grey lead as opposed to in a pen?
Ah, yes, I do. Yes, yeah.
Yes, we do have a fair voting system, but I don't really agree on how it's portrayed in the media. We're not given too much information on why we should vote, what are each party, what are they actually about. So I think in terms of education, especially for our young people, they don't know who they're voting for, so they're just going to tick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and whoever they've heard the most in the media. So I think the voting system is fair, but we need to educate people more on how to vote, why to vote.
Yeah, yes and no. Kind of depending if you go for two major parties, it would, but if you're kind of going for a smaller party, like some of the ones that got in the ballots this year, not really.
Well, along the lines of, we live in a country of 24 million people, and I think, well, we've got so many other people out there. In the long term, I'm not quite sure if it does or not. It might be able to change governments and stuff like that with it, but it doesn't do anything really for setting up policies and stuff like that in Australia. So to a limited extent it does, but yeah, on the great run of things it doesn't. I don't think that much, because you don't really have much apart from changing government. That's the limit of it, really. So
Oh, technically I'm not a voter, so No, it doesn't count. But it wouldn't matter anyway because they'd elect who they want to elect anyway, so what's the point in friggin' voting?
Should we be fined for not voting?
I'm along the lines of, I suppose, America, and I think in the UK as well. I think, well, if you don't have an option to vote for, I think you should have the right not to vote. So I believe no, that you shouldn't be fined.
No, it's up to the people. It's not their choice whether we vote or not. We are our own people.
Yep.
Like, it's bloody stupid. I haven't got my fine yet, so I'm pretty content, I suppose.
No.
No?
Oh, we're
It's a very
going to
difficult
disagree on
one.
something.
I come from a country where apathy is really rife, and therefore not necessarily the best person gets into government. So I don't know that people should be fined, but people should really be strongly encouraged to vote.
Should be educated to
Correct.
vote. Because if you're made to vote and you don't know what you're doing and you don't care, you're going to donkey vote anyway. And
Should we be more like America where they don't have to vote?
I think it should, instead of a fine, I think there should be something more fair. Like perhaps there could be an old person in their house who couldn't actually get to a thing and therefore they couldn't vote, but they're gonna get a fine for that. I think there should be ways around that.
Yeah.
Or if people want to exclude themselves from the voting system, then that's also up to them. That should be an option as well.
Do you think Australian politics have improved over the past 10 years?
It's hard to say. I think it's, I suppose, along the lines of politics, I think we've become more Americanised, really. There seems to be more of I can't even get my mouth around it, but it's along the lines of celebrity and stuff like that. It's more of a, it's more of it's popularity contest, really, in the end. They seem to, this way it seems to be dictated along the lines of kind of media and stuff like that a bit more than what it used to be. I think it used to be more about policy once upon a time. I think it more about showing up on the Today Show or something like that in the morning, and how many times you can do that and think, well, I've portrayed myself as a nice guy, so people will vote for me. So, yeah.
Yes, I still think there's lots of things that we need to be mindful of, like gay and lesbian relationships. Like there's still a lot of kerfuffle around that and whether or not that's going to be legalised in Australia. So I think things like, we've still got a fair bit to go. So that's just my opinion.
Okay.
I've got friends that are affected by it, so that sort of stuff. I think in terms of that, we've got a fair way to go.
Well, only being 20 now, I haven't really gone. Don't think I've been alive long enough or been mature enough to kind of keep up with what's been going on for 10 years. But in my view, of the last couple of years, when I've kind of started to take notice, they're kind of just changing hands instead of it getting any better or worse.
I think they've declined.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, as I said earlier, with Rudd getting kicked out by his own party for Gillard to come in, and then again, pretty much the same thing, only last year or this year. Where's the sense in that?
No?
No.
oh, no, me either.
No.
What's the last one say?
And I think I'll reserve my reasons for considering that. But I think over the last couple of years it's not been very good.
No, they've gone worse, if anything. Like, everything's just going downhill. As I said, leave it to the people, and we'll be right. We'll figure it all out ourselves.
Yep.
Not let 20 people sit there and go, oh, we'll do this and we'll do this. Why can't we do it? We could do it and we can have the money in our own pockets.